Welcome to the Curiosity Case TV. In this short video, our host Claire will give you a taster of what TCC TV is all about. If you are sitting comfortably, then let us begin.
Take a walk down memory lane. So many things to remember again. Toys that you played with, clothes that you wore, treasures and trinkets and so much more. Put a foot in the old times, each special place, when you open up the curiosity case. Home life, childhood shops of yesteryear, movie stars and singers you held so dear. Fashion and transport, fun and holidays, a wonderful reminder of all your yesterdays. Put a foot in the old times, each special place, when you open up the curiosity case. Home life, childhood shops of yesteryear, movie stars and singers you held so dear. Fashion and transport, fun and holidays, a wonderful reminder of all your yesterdays. Put a foot in the old times, each special place, when you open up the curiosity case.
Hello, I'm Claire, the owner and creator of the Curiosity Case. The aim of this short introductory video is to give you a feel of what TCC TV, the video version of my reminiscence sessions, is all about. Straight away, I should say that it's not just me sitting here talking. The TCC TV videos are varied with a lovely nostalgic feel, combining my presentations of a wide selection of vintage items linked to a theme with other media, anecdotes, poetry, old photos, film and advertising material to give an interesting and engaging visual experience aimed to spark reminiscence and promote discussion. Shortly you will see some sections which should give you a feel as to the style of my presentation, alongside the other sorts of excerpts you can expect as a TCC TV viewer. But I thought I should start with a little background to the Curiosity Case as a business. A bit about why I started the Curiosity Case. I've got a background in performing arts, and I've had recent experience of working with older people, including those in the early stages of their dementia journey. So I was looking for a creative way to offer reminiscence sessions which truly bring the past alive. I thought it would be nice to have a container from which I could present a selection of memory-evoking items, so I sourced this beautiful vintage suitcase, more to follow on its interesting history, and the concept was born. I came up with a year's worth of nostalgic themes, and I started collecting interesting vintage items to link with them. Once I was ready to go, I'm pleased to say my sessions were so well received that my schedule filled up quickly. By the end of my first year, I was virtually at capacity, visiting care homes in my local area. I enjoy every session, and as you can see from a few of the many lovely testimonials I received from care home staff, the feeling is mutual. I had initially thought that my sessions would revolve around the physical sharing of artefacts, but I soon realised that it wasn't just the reminiscence objects that brought the memories flooding back. Residents seem to love the facts I attach to everything I present, gleaned from hours of research for each theme, as well as the amusing anecdotes, excerpts and observations I deliver in a fun, theatrical way. Laughter features in every session, with many an interesting, dare I say, saucy story shared. When we're thinking about saucy seaside postcards, there's really one name that stands out, and that's Donald McGill. He was one of the most prolific creators of these sorts of cards. I've got an original one of his here. It's got a bookish gentleman sat under a tree with his sweetheart reading a Rudyard Kipling book. And he says, "Do you like Kipling?" She replies, "I don't know, you naughty boy. I've never been kippled." Well, Don McGill, when he died, they wanted to put up a blue plaque outside his house, and his family said, in the spirit of their father, could, instead of it being unveiled with a pair of velvet curtains, could they unveil it with a pair of bloomers? Bloomers indeed. It was when I started receiving inquiries from care homes who were a little too far out of my practical area for travel that I started exploring the idea of whether the curiosity case could exist in more than an in-house, in-person format, whether it was possible, in effect, to create virtual visits. As my sessions had developed with my understanding of the different parts that really captured the audience, as in more than just passing around the items, I could picture a way of combining my experience to date with other forms of media to come up with something just as special as my actual visits. There's no doubt that there are some wonderful online resources available to those working with older people, many of whom have sensory, cognitive or emotional challenges. But getting them in a format which is appropriate to their needs and likes, as well as comfortable to view, isn't always the easiest. There's a lot of research and vetting to do, often having to collate things from different places and in different formats, let alone dealing with unwanted content such as pop-ups or adverts. My aim with TCC TV was to provide a professional, comprehensive, one-button experience with a different nostalgic theme each month. The TCC TV audience can get to know me as a familiar, friendly face with a proven, gentle and engaging manner. The videos can be viewed on any smart device, in groups or one-to-one, started and left to play with the only interruptions being specifically our chosen inserts. These all have a lovely nostalgic feel, and they're designed to enhance the viewing experience. They include things like our opening credits and our vintage BBC presenter-style introduction, plus nostalgic newsreels and vintage adverts.
Now, it is time for a nostalgic commercial break. Your programming will return shortly.
My little eye, something beginning with F. Oh, you mean my fairy liquid?
Do you like it?
Oh, yes.
Why?
Because it's specially soft on my hands.
Soft as can be.
That's right. Very, very soft. Fairy liquid makes lots of these soft suds to get all the tea things clean, you see.
You spy something now.
All right. I spy with my little eye something beginning with H.
Hands.
Now hands that do dishes can feel soft as your face with mild green fairy liquid.
There will now be a break in today's programming for a short news bulletin.
Victory in Europe Day, and how we thank the service chiefs who worked so valiantly to make it possible. Britons, impatient for the official signal to celebrate, jumped the starting gun on Monday night when notice of capitulation waited upon Whitehall, Washington.
As the sovereign, her life is almost entirely devoted to her job. For it is a job, a duty regally performed for her people. In these times of informal permissiveness, the Queen has the gift of bringing formal dignity to a traditional occasion, for the Queen and her family relax. One of those rare, precious moments to enjoy a few personal hours together, away from the strains and tensions of official, public life, of duty.
I hope you enjoyed that little interlude. I feel like I should put on my best BBC voice now. It should have given you a taste of the additional media we use and the nostalgic voices and format we put together around them. Now to show you my role in the videos. As promised, I'll give you a bit of a background to the actual Curiosity case itself to demonstrate how I build a story around each item I share. I gained the initial information from the labels on the case. They were the details of its owner and the fact that it travelled on the RMS Queen Elizabeth in 1967. And I padded out these bare bones to create a little story which will follow in the manner of me presenting to a TCC TV viewer. My Curiosity case is an attractive, sturdy leather suitcase. You can see it's been well travelled by the marks of wear and tear, as well as the labels which chart a part of its history. In 1967, a Mr. J. Pullin travelled from his home in Coventry, which I was able to track down and is still standing today, to Southampton. Here he boarded RMS Queen Elizabeth, a beautiful ocean liner which since 1938, along with her sister ship the Queen Mary, had provided a weekly transatlantic service to New York. You can tell the difference between the two ships, as Elizabeth had 2 funnels, whilst Mary had 3. Now, Mr. Pullen's voyage to New York would have taken him 5 to 7 days at that time, and we can see he was travelling on business for his company, Burndy, a manufacturer of electrical fittings with a headquarters in Manchester, New Hampshire. It does make you wonder what Mr. Pullen's role was within his company, as this was quite a journey to make, and he was staying in cabin class. At this time, the Queen Elizabeth was nearing the end of her working life, so she may have been looking a little shabby, but other than the period during the war when she was utilised as a troop ship, she was pretty smart with everything on a grand scale. Opulent furnishings, a lot of mahogany and rich fabrics. Have you ever been on a cruise ship, for business or for pleasure? How did it compare to travelling on the Queen Elizabeth in the 60s?
Cruise ship holiday, oh what a thrill, where time stands still, where time stands still. Champagne flows, the stars still. Cruise ship holidays, oh what a thrill.
Mr. Pullen would have been amongst the last travellers on the Queen Elizabeth, as she was decommissioned in 1968 and replaced by the QE2. You probably remember footage of the Queen launching that ship. The original ship was sold to an American company to be turned into a hotel and tourist attraction in Florida, but sadly her declining condition and the heat led to her being declared a fire hazard, and this enterprise was closed down in 1970. After her purchase by a Hong Kong tycoon, her next incarnation was supposed to be a floating campus, the Seawise University. but a series of fires which broke out during her renovations led to her sinking in Victoria Harbour, Hong Kong in 1972. Rumour had it that this sad end to a once beautiful lady of the sea was actually arson for insurance fraud. An interesting afterfact is that her reclaimed hulk was used as the MI6 headquarters in the 1974 James Bond film The Man with the Golden Gun. Do you have a favourite James Bond actor? I know I do. But what of Mr. Pullen himself? It looks like he was based in Connecticut and most likely stayed for at least 2 years, as the case was lined with a newspaper from Fairfield County dated 1969. This edition of the Town Crier includes some interesting articles and adverts which give you an insight into life in America in the 1960s. I hope this little foray into the history of the Curiosity Case shows how I embellish the items I share in a way that interests and engages the audience, and how this can lead to further discussion. You will have seen that I sometimes throw questions out, which provide an opportunity to pause the video and instigate a conversation if you want to. On subscription, you will also be provided with a selection of documents in PDF format to help in the use of the TCC TV. This includes a list of discussion points with their timestamp in the video, so you can always refer to this after initial viewing, going back to the video if you wish. If you have someone who wants to watch the video on their own, you can always revisit these discussion points with them later too. This discussion list isn't the only addition to the video content you will have access to as a subscriber. I also provide a suggested playlist for every theme, with interesting facts about the song, the artist, etc. Each theme also comes with a simple quiz, the answers of which can be found within the video, plus ideas for other activities you could link to the theme, and some original activity sheets for those who enjoy that sort of thing. Whilst I won't be visiting you in person, the beauty of TCC TV virtual visits is that I will be on tap for you to use as many times as you like during the month of the theme. There's no limit to the amount of plays, and it's easy for you to log in on different devices within your establishment. You could arrange a large group viewing, a poster which you can customise as part of your PDF pack, as well as individuals watching on TVs or small devices, ideal for those who are bedbound, have a sensory impairment, or are uncomfortable in a group setting. And TCC TV virtual visits utilise all my experience and artefacts from its original background, further enhanced by the additional media we are able to incorporate into the videos. Before I sum up the final logistics, I just want to give you a taste of the range and style of the artefacts you will see as a subscriber. But believe me, this is only a tiny portion of the Curiosity Case inventory, which I'm always adding to. So what might a lady about town have in her handbag? Well, a coin purse, of course, and this one contains old money. Got the full set, including a half crown, threepenny bit, of course the lovely little sixpence. Decimalised coins came in 1971. Did you know Max Bygraves recorded a song to be used on the advertising? Here it is.
D-E-C-I-M-A-L-I-S-A-tion. We call it decimalization, decimalization. Soon it's gonna be time to change the money round, 'cause we've got decimalization, decimalization. There's 100 new pennies now
you might remember a Heat Master teapot. They were little china teapots, but they had an insulated cover on them to keep the tea nice and warm. Around in the 1950s, very popular. Got a lovely old poster for one here. Here's a little poem called The Pattern of Life. Reflecting on home life when we were small, long hours, low wages, few luxuries at all. Money was tight, times they were hard. Some people still had a loo in the yard. No fridge in the kitchen, cold stuff by the door. We'd coal on the fire and a rug on the floor. This would have been in everybody's handbag during the war, a ration book. In fact, this one's dated 1953 to 54, because of course rationing carried on after the war. This is a lovely little 1940s board game. You can see the family feel on the front there. Lotto or house, or otherwise known as bingo. Very basic contents in the box. Everyone had a card with their numbers on. The caller would select numbers on little discs like this. And then the players would cover over their number with a card until they got to the point where they could call house or lotto or bingo. Show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. I had a little drink about an hour ago and it's gone right to my head. I hope that everything you've seen so far has shown how fun, interesting and valuable TCC TV could be for you. Unlike random online videos, the content of my virtual visits is tailored to the emotional, sensory and cognitive needs of older adults, including those with dementia. There are no adverts, other than those intentional ones, no distractions, unwanted or unrelated content, or click risks, which can be distressing. The topics we cover, which can be seen on the themes page of this website, have been specifically chosen to appeal to the target audience and encourage reminiscence. They have poetic, nostalgic sounding titles, such as Handbags, Hats and Hemlines, our fashion theme, and When We Were Young, about childhood. These umbrella titles allow us to focus on different elements of a wider topic when the theme comes round again. Each year, all content is refreshed with updated recordings and more items from our ever-growing inventory. New and old viewers alike will still continue to have a wonderful, engaging experience. The videos are consistent, giving a familiarity which leads to a calm viewing experience. They're nostalgic from start to finish. We've thought of everything, from our own recorded music and sound bites, through our set and resources, to the additional material we provide for you. And, probably most importantly, they are time-saving. They provide an experience at the click of a button, which could take those working with older people hours to research, vet and prepare. There is a new TCC TV theme each month, which you can access as a subscriber. You can choose between a monthly subscription or pay for a full year, which gives you 12 months for the price of 10. There's no contract. You can opt out or take a break at any time. If there's anything which hasn't been covered in this video, please feel free to drop me an email or even give me a call. I may not be in your area, I may not meet you face to face, but through these virtual visits, I can become a friendly, familiar person to you and those you work with, along with my wonderful curiosity case.
We have now concluded today's programming from the Curiosity Case TV. Please return for more nostalgic content. And remember, memory is the diary that we all carry with us. Signing off until we meet again.